I want to talk about the MagMod line of flash adapters versus the, those cheap £3 or £4 ones that you can get on Amazon or eBay. For myself, the MagMod line, I have the grids, I have the gels, I have the sphere, and I have the bounce. First off, let's just run through some grids, shall we? We need to understand one thing. With MagMods, you have to have these giant ears on top of your flash. Without these, the MagMods are but useless. These are kind of a silicone band. They've got two huge magnets inside, these rare earth ones. It sticks to pretty much everything. It'll stick to my tripod. I've seen pictures of them sticking to the side of cars. People have laid them on top of their car, driven away from a shoot, and they arrive 100 miles later at their house with the MagMod still on top of their car. So this is the grid. You can see just going through the light there. Angle it, cuts light off. They are completely flexible. They will squish in half. They've got tiny little magnets on either end, and they are encased. You can only get them from the very ends. So there's no chance of these falling out. You can have your flash upside down, you can have it at angles, and this flash grid is not going to go anywhere. Let's try the eBay style Velcro grid with a Velcro style strap which will go around the top of the flash, and then we have kind of a light metal grid with two pieces of Velcro kind of stapled to the outsides. Just attach the top there, wrap around, secure. It's relatively straightforward. Place the grid on. That's not too bad. Definitely smaller. Let's look into the light. Definitely smaller than the MagMod. Takes a little bit more time to get on. I guess you could have this Velcro strap on continuously and then it would be nice and easy. Build quality though, hideously hideous. Okay, so I've used this once ever, and you peel this off and then this comes off again, and you can see just there that it's already started to separate. So we've already got some damage to it. They're alright, they're a couple of £1. They do not last though, which is the +1 for the MagMod. It's fallen on the floor. +1 for the MagMod because the build quality is far superior. The silicone on the MagMods will last the test of time. So the sphere is sphere, I guess. It's a sphere. You can look into it. It is basically a piece of silicone. Magnets at the bottom. Take your grid off. Pop that on. Exactly the same. Not going to come off anytime soon. My one has yellowed a little bit. On their website they do claim that the shape just pops back, but look, I've got these big old dents here. They are not coming back for anyone. The advantage of one of these, you can pop a little gel if you do have the gel pack from MagMods just in the bottom, but in my experience you just put the gel kind of clip on just at the bottom and they'll shoot. The light will go straight through both. You don't need to fiddle about. It's all about speed, right? But this goes on top of your flash. You fire the flash generally straight up, and what this does, instead of the flash going straight up in a straight line, hitting the roof and bouncing back down, it gets intercepted by this sphere and the light goes everywhere. It's out, back, left, right, and we know in lighting that the bigger the light source, the softer the light. So if you want that nice soft light and you try and do an on-camera flash of a wedding event, or have this off-camera and you just have it angled at your model or something, a bigger light source is going to give a softer light. You can stack these together in your camera bag, save space on that one, punch that top bit in and squeeze it about and just pop that in somewhere where you put a camera lens. Let's look at a Lambency diffuser. You can pick these up on Amazon for about £10 or so. To be fair, they are amazingly well built. It's a strong plastic. It's basically like a bowl you would eat your soup out of, microwave bowl, with a flash opening at the bottom with a Velcro tightening strap. And on the top we have an inverted dome which is white, and they just clip together. And again, when you put this on the camera, flash goes in, intercepted by that dome, light goes outwards in all angles, bigger light, softer light. Let's put it on the flash though, and you can see why I don't use it anymore. So, pretty easy to actually fit. It stops at a certain point so you can't push it all the way in. And then just use the Velcro strapping. I wouldn't put this on camera, I'd probably have this off camera pointing up. It's a little bit heavy now. You definitely wouldn't really fire it forwards like this, although you can, it's transparent so light is going to go through. But it's a huge waste of light if you do it that way. This is not the most secure. Throughout the day it will start to work itself just out and pop off. There is no kind of grip on the inside of this. Get yourself a nice tungsten balanced orangey one. Pop that one on, and when the flash comes out it hits the orange. Get a nice orange light that comes out instead. If you're shooting inside with tungsten lighting, for instance, a bit like kind of that light back there, that's got a tungsten filter on it. This will match it, and then in post-production you can just get rid of all that orange. All the lights look nice and even. You don't have any weird inconsistencies, unless you're me and you like weird inconsistencies on your pictures. This build quality is fantastic. I really do like this. The only downside to these Lambency diffusers is the bulky size. It doesn't get any smaller than this, so it's already the size of a camera body. I suppose you can take the top off and squeeze that in, or maybe put it around something inside your camera bag. But this is big and there's no getting away from that. To go alongside these and talking about colour correction, let's just do a shout out to the Mag gels. It's like a tray really. You can pop out these polycarbonate style kind of gels, which are again to match colour or contrast colour, or do what you want really. If you want creative backgrounds, so you want a red flash or you want a blue face, and they just slap on exactly like the other ones. Straight on. You can then stack yourself a sphere, you can stack yourself a grid and a sphere and a gel, and you know, knock yourself out. I do have most of the gels. You've got colour corrections, so you've got half CTOs, quarters, straw, CTB I think, mainly just orange. And then we've got the more obscure ones. You've got frosted ones, yellows, blues, ND filters in the middle there. Contrast that with the Viltrox gel pack kit. Very thin sheets of gel material. It's not solid at all, it's paper essentially, and 2 strong elastic bands. Picked this up on eBay for about £8. These are just the cheapest die cut kind of gel paper you've ever seen. This will rip in half if I even give it a sniff. But you do get a lot of them, which is really nice. Get yourself your gel, get yourself your bare flash. You want to pull those ears down either side so it kind of frames it. Get one of those elastic bands. I don't think that you'll get particularly 100% coverage over the flash head, and also you can't stack any kind of attachments on top. You're looking at just a gel and nothing else at this point. You can't then put yourself the Gary Fong or the Lambency diffuser on. You can't put a softbox on. You can barely even fit that through an adapter into a softbox, so it's that or nothing. We have gone through the grids, which I think the MagMod one is amazing. It has outlasted the other one many times over. We've gone to the bouncy sphere kind of thing. Although the Mag sphere let me down slightly because it started to deflate a little bit on the middle. I do actually prefer the build quality and the toughness of the generic Lambency diffuser. The Mag gels far surpass the generic gels in build quality and thickness and rigidity and ease of use, and combining with others. So the gels and the grids so far are leading the way. Now, have you ever used a bounce card on the top of your flash? This is the one that's sometimes built in. Bit hard to get out. It's kind of this little white piece of paper that's stuck at the back. And you generally need it when you need a bit of forwards direction to your flash, but you don't actually want to fire your flash forwards. So what happens is your flash goes upwards and a little bit gets caught in this white board. The white board then bounces light forwards, or at least reflects a bit more forward facing light. Nice catch lights in people's eyes. MagMod's solution to it is hilarious. That is insane. It's tripled the size of the flash quite easily. Bigger light source, softer light, you know, all this. But the main thing is, if we look at it on a sideways angle, the flash is going to go straight up here, and it's going to hit all of this and come out forwards. Yes, it is white, you can see through it just a little bit, so a bit of light's going to get dissipated out the back, but it's kind of like a scoop. It pushes the light forwards without the need to actually have a forward facing light source. We all know that style of front-facing flash where you get the very crisp, harsh shadows just behind someone. Looks very amateur. Aim the light up and the light goes outwards. None of it really hits the roof because of this kind of overhung kind of top bit here. So for reference, we have the Fuji X-T3, pretty small camera. So let's pop that on. There we go. This is what you would look like if you were on camera. I probably wouldn't walk around like this at an event. I would more have this on a stand and use a trigger, just have it off in a corner somewhere, angled towards the people you want to take photos of, just get a nice little side light. The actual scoop itself with the bounce is nice and flexible. This is a tough kind of circle at the bottom with 4 magnets, but the top can collapse on itself, which is quite handy, and it gets a little bit small to pop into your bag. Normal orientation, you'd have it going forwards. You could have that flash going sideways into a wall, but in my opinion, if you can bounce into a wall, you don't need an adapter to do it. You turn your flash sideways and you bounce it into a wall, right? So I've never quite got the reason why they have these 4 magnets at the bottom. That's all I have for the MagMods, but I do still have a few more third-party accessories. Let's go for these little Tupperware style adapters again. These go on top of your flash, and they're like a very small MagSphere, let's put it that way, or a very small Lambency diffuser. You know this, you just pop it on. They are generally, they have specific size ones for specific models, so you've got to track yours down, and it is a tight fit. Increases your light a little bit. Nice and sturdy. These aren't going to come off anytime soon. Pennies to buy. Nice little hack that I found once, if you tape up a couple of the sides. So I've got the top, I've got the one side available, but I've blacked out the rest of them. If you put it so the white bit is facing backwards, all of the light that you have is bounced from behind you. It gives a very limited, it takes a lot of power out of your flash, but it gives a very limited light source. Doesn't even look like it's lit by a on-camera flash. Last but not least, let's go on to micro soft boxes. These particularly. Bought a couple of these a while back and I've never opened this second one, and you will see why now. Let me just show you the perfect ease of using one of these. You've got these tiny little hoops that you've got to fit the webbing through, and it barely fits and it drags it all the way. Come on, there you go. I've already broken one, and this is brand new. One of these 2 little hoops have just dislocated itself. Oh, actually both sides have, okay. So both of these have just separated themselves from the rest of it. Let's hook this back here, strap that down, pop the little triangle over it. Velcro cinch strap is quite nice. I might actually repurpose that for something else. It's not ideal. You have all these little gaps of light coming out. This is adjustable. This thing will fall off if you shake it hard enough. It's going to enlarge your light source by a couple of 100%, but when are you going to use it, and what are you going to use it with? That's the thing. This, although it folds flat, is extremely poor quality. It says quality assurance. I can't think of a reason why you would use something like this when you have a cheaper option in a Stofen, or you have a sturdier option, a Lambency diffuser. So there you have it, a convoluted difference between MagMod and third-party flash adapters. For me, if you are making money out of photography, you're taking this really seriously, you can pick up the entire MagMod supply for about £100 to £200. They're having sales on, you can get it second hand. Stuff will last for a very long time. And if you really get into your flash photography instead of being natural light all day, every day, especially if you're working through the winter months like I am myself, they really do pay for themselves in quality and speed and ease of setup. I can just throw them in my camera bag and I know that they're not going to get damaged because they're indestructible. Some third-party flash adapters, like that Lambency diffuser there, it's really good quality, amazingly well built, but a little bit bulky. And some of the cheaper end stuff, like the gels and the little softbox, are just something to stay completely clear of. If you like this video and you want to stick around, hit the bell button, hit the subscribe button. I'm always looking for new subscribers, and stick around for future videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.